Happy Valentine's Day, like my heart. I'm excited to be here with you for Valentine's Day. Let's spread a little love. Today we're getting in the kitchen and we're gonna bake some sugar cookies for Valentine's Day. My kids have to take them to school for a treat and they're allergen friendly, they're easy, and you can use them any time of the year for whatever occasion you like. Sorry about my very noisy dog in the background. Come on, Magic. Let's go make these cookies. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, for our sugar cookies, what you want to do is mix the dry ingredients first and then mix the wet ingredients and then bring them together, mixing the dry with the, putting it a little bit at a time into the wet ingredients. So we're going to start off with 3 cups of flour. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm so sorry to have this really ugly salt box in the picture. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. 1. And this one is the half. And then you just want to take a whisk or something, mix those ingredients up to be sure that all of the salt and the baking powder gets distributed evenly with the flour. And after you do that, you're going to mix together the wet ingredients. And in this case, the wet ingredients for us is going to be butter, sugar, and an egg replacer. And vanilla, of course. Alright, so that's how we're going to start our sugar cookie, vegan sugar cookie. Since we now have mixed the dry ingredients together, now we're going to do the wet. And I like to take a stick of Earth Balance butter because it's already measured out for you. How convenient that is for baking. And I'm going to use my KitchenAid. If you don't have one, you don't have to do this. You can wait till your butter's a little bit softer and do it by hand. And it's really nice to let the butter get soft. And then I let that whip a little bit. And then I add 1 cup of sugar. And I'm using organic cane sugar because this is a sugar cookie. And this is the basis for your sugar cookie. So you want to let it whip and get really, really nice and fluffy, and all the sugar and the butter gets creamed together nicely. Alright, and then I use the equivalent of 1 egg. I use Bob's Red Mill egg replacer. 1 egg, so it's 1 tablespoon of egg replacer to 2 tablespoons of warm water. Look how eggy it gets. It gets super egg-like. Alright, and then I mix that in with the butter and the sugar, kind of like you would do if you were making a regular recipe that called for real eggs. This is the path you take. Whoa. I want to get all of that in here. So I'm going to stop it and kind of scrape my bowl down just a little bit because I got a whole bunch of egg replacer just on the side of the bowl, and that's no good. You want it to be in the cookie. Alright. And then the last thing that you add to the wet ingredients right at this moment is going to be 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And if you don't want your cookie to look too brown or browner, you may try and find some clear vanilla, but I like the flavor of this Mexican vanilla that my in-laws always hook me up and bring me back some vanilla when they go to the islands, and this is what they brought me back, Mexican vanilla, and I loves it. And then once you see that your egg replacer and your sugar and all that is creamed together really nicely, and the vanilla, you can start adding the flour to your mix a little bit at a time. And the only thing I have left here is, this is 3 cups of flour, you know. This is the dry. I add a little bit of it at a time. And then I add a little bit of milk. And I have like 1/4 cups of soy milk. And I'm gonna add all the rest of my milk. That is it. Once you think it's all together, you have to stop it. I'm going to show you what it's looking like because it can look really crumbled. Doing a dance. But that's what it looks like, guys. Okay, so I have my dough, and I don't like to chill it too long because remember, I'm going to cut it in half to make it easier for me to work with. I'm just going to break it in half, and I don't like to chill it too long because then it's hard to like work with, is not pliable. After I cut them into shapes, I then refrigerate them for a little bit so that they'll hold their shape better, okay? All right, so now I'm just gonna take my dough and roll it out, but I don't roll it too thin, all right? I'll just, have my there we have it. I put it in the freezer for a little bit. Maybe like, if you don't have time, you can see what it looks like, but it's on you. If they come out like all bubbly without the shape of whatever the cookie is, it's your fault. But I would say let them stay in the freezer for about an hour so that they will hold their shape and be really pretty, okay? So once they come out, we're gonna decorate these cookies, and I'm taking cookies to school for my kids tomorrow. So I'm gonna put this magic. This is aquafaba. This is the stuff that's in the can of chickpeas. This is the juice. I take the peas out and save them for another recipe. But I take the juice and I'm gonna put about 1/4 of it in there. And this is a recipe that I found online. And you wanna just kind of like mix it up until it gets frothy. What we're making here is a vegan royal icing, and you know royal icing is something that has eggs, but it's good for making cookies. And to that I'm gonna add about 2 pounds of sugar, which is about 4 cups of this. I'm also gonna put about, I like vanilla. I'm gonna put like 1 teaspoon of vanilla in it. Boom. And I wish that it wasn't brown because I don't really want my icing to be brown. But it doesn't matter if you're gonna like use different colors in your icing. This is just a basic, you can do whatever you want, and I'll show you how I decorate a couple of cookies. I'm gonna drop in the sugar here. I'm gonna start with 4 cups. And then this icing is gonna turn to like a gluey kind of consistency that's gonna be perfect for decorating cookies. It has kind of like a glue-like consistency. And I'm just gonna stick some in my piping bag, and I'm gonna pipe a couple of cookies.